Cicada, 2020. I first saw this in 2023 in the summer. I gave it a short review at that time, and I remember scoring it highly. I think around. Now, I won't say what the score is. I'll say at the end of this. It's an LGBTQIA plus themed film, and based on a true story. It says at the start. I watched it again this week. I feel very similar, I think, to how I did when I first saw it, as in I liked it a lot. It stars Matt Pfizer as Ben and Sheldon D. Brown as Sam, and they're the two protagonists. We first get to know Ben. He's living in New York. He's 26 years old, and I put some numbers down on the screen. I don't know what they mean. Oh, I think I was trying to figure out. He said about some things in his younger life, and that's what the numbers were. I was trying to figure it out, and then I thought, oh yeah, that makes sense. So, um, at the start, he's quite aimless. Ben is possibly hypochondriac, or maybe he's ill. He doesn't seem very well. He's lying on the floor. His roommate comes in and asks what feels it feels sort of disparaging style, "Are you okay?" type thing. I'm not quite sure. And you see Ben having a string of sexual exploits. He seems bi or pan, but he has I mean, you get to hear from friends or his roommate asking him about his relationships, and he does explore being gay quite a lot, but he does have straight relationships as well. And he even I suppose he's exploring himself. He's 26 years old, and then there's one character actually in his office, Teresa, and I think she might be trans or representing a trans woman. I don't know. I looked up who was playing Teresa, and that might be a bit mm, not recommended nowadays. I mean, she's played by Jason Green. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of demand that trans women are played by trans women, and I accept the arguments. So I think in this case, assuming she is a trans woman, then it's not that great. But maybe going on this story, um, I don't know. I don't know what was intended, and it's not clear. It's just that we meet Teresa, and I'm gonna assume her pronouns as she, her, and she has a relationship or a one night stand, or have maybe more than one night stand, but with Ben as well. Uh, Ben is happy to explore all of his interests, and his illness. I'm not sure. Is it described as dysphasia at one point? There's quite a lot to do with cicada, which um, occur a lot in the audio because it's like the background sound is the sound of is it crickets? I don't know if cicada are like crickets, but they have a 17 year cycle, sometimes a 13-year cycle, but they go on prime numbers to avoid being caught out by predators. That is all I know, the sum total. And I'd probably look up on ChatGPT or maybe on Wikipedia to find out more but I haven't. But that is a running theme throughout this film. It's like, this is, um yeah, that's why the 17 appears. Like, so 26 years old, minus 17, and 3 comes up because no, 26 minus 17 is not 3, is it? It's 9. And we see a young lad. Now, I was thinking a 3-year-old, but no, he might be 9 years old. I don't know, actually. I'm really confused. But I was thinking during this film, that's why we're seeing flashbacks to Ben as his younger self when he was a little boy. I think he's perhaps nearer 3 than 9. And that's what's now confusing me because I was thinking, oh, so the cicada is because he's looking back 17 years to when he was young and a lot of trouble happened in his life. And that isn't revealed that much in the trailer. So I won't talk about it, but he does get counseling or psychotherapy. And I don't know, the psychotherapist is I've been talking about that and thinking quite a lot about the counselling I've had at times in my life. And this particular um, counsellor is a bit, I don't know, to be critical, I'd say substandard. I mean, she talks a lot, she doesn't listen, she's not very client centered. Let's put it that way. And she asks him sometimes very bluntly some questions about his life and about his younger time. And I think that's pretty brutal, given that a lot of people, like Ben, have been through really traumatic experiences. And so to cover it in this way, it feels very glib, really. And I don't think that's quite right. But that's the whole point. This, I think Ben is the main protagonist. This is based on the true story of his life, and I don't know much about his actual life, but it's his memories. Same like when he's remembering Teresa, whoever she was, remembering the other the other um, one night stands or whatever that he has, and he has quite a few. Um, it's all going on this memory, and I accept that's all from his point of view. Um, and so I take a lot of what comes at us um, as it is, as it's described, and that's I think fair enough. Um, now there's Ben meeting Sam, and that happens early on. Ben actually kind of slightly sweet talks Sam by talking about is it records or books that that he broaches the subject, and then they go wandering around part of New York City, which is really well photographed or filmed. I mean, the cinematography I loved because there's a lot of shimmering water. Sometimes it's almost like you see more of the reflection than the actual, um, upright clips. It's all in reflection. It's shown upside down, and I really like that because you get all the water effects and that shimmering effect along with the soundtrack, which is very emotive and moody and calming, and I like that as well, and that sort of takes me back, and I sort of think, well, 2003, I don't know, I'm thinking about that particular year, again, 2020, minus 17, and I'm thinking about when I listened to Röyksopp, and that was a really moody, but chill, not chilling, I mean, uh so calming a sound, and uh, it's just the nostalgia of particular, music that can really, uh, evoke feelings, and that happens in this film, I felt, and how Ben and Sam, they meet up, and um, they strike it off together, they strike up a good and it becomes a good relationship that becomes a bit stronger. They talk about things that happen in their lives. I mean, there's oh gosh, this really difficult thing for Sam because he got shot, um, and that is really traumatic. I mean, that whole thing. He talks about that, and um, I can't imagine it. It's just, appalling to think about that kind of trauma and what impact that would have on, um, someone's life like that. And you know, so I'm very much drawn into the film, just this narrative between these 2 guys and the beauty of them becoming so close to each other and they, they both talk about childhood trauma, and there's the backdrop of news of an ongoing court case, and it's really sordid and grim, and there are often stories like that in the news. I mean, there are at the moment, especially in the US, but there often is in the UK, and there's a whole thing about coming out. I mean, Ben has come out, his mother's very well aware, and she's very accepting. But then Sam, he talks about he hasn't come out with his dad, but he brings round Ben to meet his dad to have a meal. There's Captain and Tennille, which is sort of, gosh, still together, 1970 75, 76, like 50 years ago, and that's I like that as well, but there's a sort of, some, like, little misreadings that go on there. There's all the possible marginalizations, there's, the politics, there's the oh yeah, the doctor. The doctor seems I said about the counsellor being a bit sort of tone deaf. The doctor is as well in a kind of um Ben has all these ailments and the doctor understands some of them and they are actual real symptoms, but then almost sort of dismisses them, or that's the impression I got. Um, so it comes off, the tone sometimes comes as, "Oh gosh, there's a lot of red flags." That's one way of putting it. There's, you know, the counsellor says about, "Tell everyone about the stuff we discussed this week," and he does it over beer, and he talks about it with quite a lot of different people, and their reactions are varied. It's just like, yes, of course, I can imagine you talk about some things, people don't know how to react, and yet it's such a deep personal thing to be talking about to everyone. But I really liked like Ben's mother, who is very kind towards Sam as well. So with this soundtrack, with the mood, with the whole feel of the film, with the cinematography, everything, um, there's something moderately dramatic towards the end as well. Um, but it all feels really a film that the whole way the story builds, it feels like it's really, um, a well put together film. I really liked it, and there's probably more I could, explore and understand given this whole cicada metaphor, but I think I've got a better grasp now than I knew vaguely about it, a few years ago, but now I understand it a bit better. So I'm gonna score it 9 out of 10 on this second view, and I think that's similar to what I scored it first time round. So, I'd love to know what you think. Thanks for watching. Please like if you like this review. Thanks if you subscribe and um, hit the notification button. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Bye for now.